What's up, everyone? My name is Edson Cardona, and I want to welcome you guys to the hashtag Let's Kick It series. On these episodes, we get the pleasure to be joined by professional athletes, get a little insight on their background and how they made it this far in their athletic careers. A conversation between athletes about their journeys leading them to success. I hope you guys enjoy. What's up, everyone? Hope y'all keep it safe with the COVID-19 pandemic. And my hope is that we're all doing our part and standing in solidarity with the racial justice movement and against police brutality because Black Lives Matter. My name is Edson Cardona, and I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the hashtag Let's Kick It series. On this episode, I have the pleasure to be joined by Fernando Jr. Mercado. Born and raised in Stockton, California, moved to Texas at the age of 13, played for several academies there, and then ended up going and playing pro at 17 with Merida FC in Mexico in La Liga de Ascenso. Ended up also playing with Merida FC after that, Irapuato FC, Inter Playa FC, Venados FC, Gavilanes FC, and LA Force. So without further ado, I would like to welcome Fernando. Brother, how you doing, man?
Bro, how's everything, dog?
I'm good, man. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you being on this episode of the hashtag Let's Kick It series.
Yeah, no, appreciate it, bro. It's a pleasure, dog. Always.
How's the quarantine treating you guys out there? How you doing?
I don't think it's as bad as, where you're at, California. I know it's probably a little worse. Out here, bro, it's not as much stuff, like, it's shut down. Everything's, like, honestly pretty normal. I mean, yeah, you still gotta, go into places with the whole mask on and stuff, but, like, there's still dining, bars are open, clubs are open, stores are all open. There's no limit. So, but I know when I visited California about a month ago, it was a little like there's, like, no dining. You got to be on the street with the mask on. Like, you can't go nowhere. Everything's closed. I think out here the movie theaters just opened too. So, like, it's a little bit more reckless in Texas, but it's all.
It's definitely a different lifestyle out there, right?
Yeah.
But, I mean, you're staying safe, which is all that matters. And like I said, I appreciate your time, and I appreciate you being with us on this week's episode.
Thank you, bro. Yeah.
So every athlete has their story, when they began whatever sport that they're doing now. And so when did your journey as an athlete begin?
Man, as an athlete, just like every soccer player, you start off as a kid, 3, 4, 5 years old. When I really started to take it serious, bro, was when I moved to Texas. When I moved to Texas, the level out here was, surprisingly really good. And, before the whole, now the academy league is gone. It used to be like, and now it's like pre-MLS, but back in the day, back in our day, it was ODP, you win, you stand out, you go to ODP, then you go to these national pools, make it to the national team squads. And that's what it was. And I started making that, bro. 13 years old, 14 years old, national pools at 15, call-ups. And then the Academy League formed, bro. I'm in high school, Academy League forms, and I'm like, oh, shit. Like, you start getting these showcases. You start playing against all these scouts, agents, schools, start getting letters in the mail. And I'm like, you know what? This is what I want to do. And that's where it started, bro. I started taking it more serious. Had a lot of my team. I was the year of 94, 95. And, man, that team was packed, bro. I'm talking like Kakuta Mane from Cincinnati, Kyrie Shelton. I think he's back at Kansas City. And many other players, bro. I think Michael Nelson. I don't know if he's still at Seattle Sounders, but we had a really, really good team, and majority of that team, ended up doing something with the game. And my birthday's in December, bro. So I graduated early. And 17, had the opportunity to go to Mexico. Nice little 2-week trial, and it stuck, bro. Thank God it stuck. And I was like, here it goes. This is what I worked all this, all these years for, and let's see how it goes.
No, it's definitely a blessing, right? You
Yeah.
working hard and creating that, athlete that you wanted to be at such a young age. And like you said, once you did move to Texas and when you realized like there was a chance for you to make it, I mean, you put in all that effort so that you can get that contract when you're 17. And I mean, how was that experience for you? How was that experience at such a young age going to trial, at 17 in a whole different other country? I mean, if you could tell me a little bit about that.
So at first, I mean, I was used to the traveling. By 17, when I made like academy teams here in Texas, you travel. You play against the other MLS teams. You got to go to Florida. You got to go to Chicago. You got to go to Colorado. You got to play all these teams. So the traveling was, normal. I month after month after month during school, whatever. Always traveling. But this was a whole different ballgame because this was like, you have to realize that if you make this trial and you sign, like that's it. Like there's no going home. You don't go back home. You're stuck. You got to do 2 months of preseason, and you're on your own. And this wasn't a trial for like a U20 or U17. This was a trial for the first team. So you don't get a buddy. You don't get a roommate. You like if you sign, bro, you get an apartment and you're like, no more mommy and daddy. And
That's all you.
yeah, like I took it step by step. I took it where let's just focus on this trial. Let's see how I do. Started off as like a winger and I flourished and I signed and yeah, dude, that's at first it was like, dang, like I'm out here, that's it. My life is now in Mexico. And I had one goal in mind, bro. My goal was to, like I said, I had steps, I had goals. My next goal after signing was I want to play on TV. Like I want to start or I just want to sub in, whatever, but I want to play because, my family, we're all Mexican background, Mexican culture. They're all about, that goal. And I was like, oh, I'm trying to play and have everybody, that's ever, trusted me, ever, believed in me. I want to, I want to be on there and I want to show out. So that was my next goal. And I took it step by step, bro. It was a journey.
No, definitely. You achieved your long time goal at such a young age, and like you said, you got used to that traveling, but now it's different. Now it's like if I do make this team, it's all up to me. Like no more, hey mom, can you do this for me? Or like dad, it's like your family, your friends. Now it's just you going on a solo mission, pretty much grinding and living your dream that you wanted from when you were like 3 or 4 years old. And like you said, we would see people playing on TV. That's the dream, right? And so you had that goal. And so now having that goal in mind on wanting to play, on TV, there's a lot of obstacles that a lot of athletes face. And so what obstacles did you face and how did you overcome them?
Man, obstacles. Like you said, there's a lot, man. There's a lot. It goes from the mental, the physical, the eating, the nutrition, um, the trainings from 2 a days to even 3 a days, practice in the morning, gym, and then practice at night. And then one big thing when you begin this kind of journey is the age. So me being 17, we're talking first team guys that, with years and years of resume, it's pretty much, where guys are nearly, they're working their way to retirement, so you got late 20s, early 30s, even some like mid 30s, guys with names and, me being, nobody, that probably, I would say the age part was my biggest obstacle. The age part was my biggest obstacle was, trying to, I wanted to go from 0 to 100 in one season. And, that's not how it works. You got to work your way up just like any other career. Getting, having issues with teammates, believe it or not, there's a lot of bullying when it comes to older players, with the younger players, and you gotta eat a lot of crap at first. And, you gotta, you just got to work your way up, man. You got to do as you're told. You can never answer back. You got to adapt to anything you're thrown at. Whether it be, you know, changing a diet, whether it be training sessions, the times, whether it be even changing your whole position, which that was another obstacle of mine. Was my whole childhood, my whole youth career was all like winger and attacker, forward, all of that. And there was a point where I actually debuted when I turned 18, and I debuted as a right back. So,
There
you
you
know,
go.
from going from doing this badass trial and, you know, like flourishing as a winger and standing out as a winger, or even like as a midfielder attacking mid, to like, you know, I go there, this guy's a winger, and then they see me on TV, bro, and like, what's he doing in the back, you know? So that was another obstacle, man. It was adapting to, imagine 15 14 years of just playing, you know, one position, or like, you know, knowing, you know, forward, goal to goal, and then, hey, you're a defender now, you know, you got to stay back here and chill, and you got to, it's a whole different position, whole different thing, whole different picture. So
No, like you spoke about, right? There's a lot of things that go into play when you're at the professional level. And so, like you said, you have to be able to adapt and be able to transition, and now becoming that rookie and seeing like, okay, there's all these other older guys. And at the end of the day, there are no friends, you know, in the pro level. Yes, of course, you know, the teammates and stuff, but everyone's still trying to fight for a spot. So at the end of the day, what makes you different? And so what kept you motivated throughout these times, like playing on different teams? Like, what kept you so motivated to keep on going and knowing like, okay, I can do this, and believing in yourself?
um I would say my family, dude, my parents, my siblings, my uncles. You know, I there was many times where, you know, no player likes to get traded, likes to get loaned, you know, for free, or, you know, for another player. You know, no, that's got to be a hard hit for any athlete. And what kept me motivated, man, was, you know, I had my foot in the door, and, you know, I was someone up there, and it would have been more of a knockdown if I would have just thrown in the towel. And, you know, I had a lot of support. I had a big support system. My family was a huge part in it. You know, you got this far. I rejected all kinds of college teams. I rejected, you know, full ride scholarships. You know, I wasn't going to be 18, 19, 20 years old and just for what, you know, like this isn't where I'm going to stop. And I kept going. You know, there's a favorite phrase of mine where I like to say, I even got it tattooed on my arm, run for your family and play for God. So, you know, that's always been my thing is, you know, anytime, any training, where I want to vomit, any game where I'm just like, oh, I'm having a game. I just, you know, I just remember, dude, just keep running, you know, whether just do your part, do your thing, keep grinding. And, you know, whether it was with another team, whether I got loaned to a second or a third division, you know, that didn't matter. I was going to do my part, and I was going to work my way back up. And, you know, it did. You know, if we go back into, like, if we go to details into my career, you know, I go here, get loaned down here, come back up here. I go back down to, like, I get loaned again to a lower division, and then I have a good, it's just, my whole career was a roller coaster, you know? So, but, I always had that motivation. I always had that motivation where it was kind of like and I kind of enjoyed it. You know, it was kind of like an inner competition where, like, if we get knocked down, nah, I'm gonna kill it. I'm gonna score. I'm gonna assist. I'm gonna do my part. I gotta grind, and I'm gonna get called back to my, you know, my another club in the higher division. And that's kind of what kept going, dude. Is, you know, the knockdown back up, and kept me going.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that in the pro level can't control, right? But at the end of the day, you can control what you do and what you can put out, you know, when you play. And like you said, man, I got loaned, but hey, I'm gonna show once again who I really am, so that I can go back up and then show you guys like, yeah, you're missing out on me, you know? And so that's where a lot of people don't see too, who are in the outside world. They don't see the behind the scenes. They don't see what goes on,
They
and
don't.
how it.
Yeah, bro, they don't see that. There's like for example, this happened to me one time where I got loaned to a lower division. It was a third. kind of like here would be like a USL League Two or something, whatever it is here. Getting loaned down there, for example, like I one time I sat down with the president. He was like, I really like you, but this is out of my hands. Like, so me and the coach, because when it comes to a new coach, new team, coaches have their players in mind, and if you're not in those plans, if you're not in his lineup or in his roster, hey, I get rid of this guy, So, but because I had a really good relationship with the president, he was like, I'll make you a deal that I made with the coach. I like you, we like you, the whole, the team, the club itself likes you, just, new coach, whatever. I'll make a deal with you. If you play more than 1,000 minutes, you can come back next season in 6 months. So it's stuff like that where like people don't know that. They just see like, oh, a player got traded, and like, they don't know like what they just put on the table for this guy, So like, and I think I did like 1,300 or 1,400, and I went back to my club. I went back, which was I believe it was Merida FC, which was Liga de Ascenso, where they did loan me to a third division, and I did my thing, and I got those minutes, and I was able to come back, and kill it again.
And yeah, that's the best thing, right? I mean, unfortunately, yeah, these things happen, but like you said, no one really knows the behind the scenes but yourself, the people, the athletes that are actually going through it. And like yourself, I mean, that motivation stuck with you, I mean, in and out. And you can see it when you play, the passion comes out with your footwork, with all the things that you do. And so being able to keep on moving forward, yeah, you take 2 steps back, but hey, I'm about to take 10, 15 steps forward. And like you said, you get knocked down, how many times you get back up, and that's what you did. And that's what kept you going. And so now, I mean, if we can talk about what's next for you, I mean, what's going on in your life? I mean, where are you looking at playing now, or what's going on with you?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think just like a lot of athletes, a handful, I can name a handful. I'm pretty sure you can name a handful. Once this whole COVID stuff hit, everybody was in the air, dude. Everybody in the same position, like, dang, what's going to happen with soccer in general? What's going to happen with the leagues? And right when this kind of stuff happened, for me, it was one big hit. It was like, apart from COVID and apart from all that, being put that aside, my contract with my agent was like coming to an end. It ended. We didn't work anything out. And then at that same exact time, the league that I was playing for, Liga de Ascenso, it folded. So it completely crashed. It doesn't exist anymore. New leagues formed, just like here happens all the times in the States. A new league formed. That being said, since when a new league forms, we talk like different kind of salary, different teams come up out of nowhere, different names, new franchises. And so for me, I saw it as like, well, Mexico is going to be a lot harder to get back in. I lost my agent. The league folded. It's pretty much starting from scratch again. So, luckily, I'm back here in the States. I'm not like stuck in Mexico like a lot of, former teammates and stuff. So, I have the blessing that I was able to come back home, kind of just, cope with this whole COVID stuff. And, but I mean, the journey's not over, the dream's not over, the dream's not dead. Trying to, right now when all this, COVID stuff it's starting to die down. The leagues are starting to start back up. People are playing, every other week. Maybe they're not, completely back to their schedules, but hopefully by, when the next like window is, I believe it's like in December or January, hoping to find a new agent or, look into a trial or, in this industry, dude, in any kind of professional industry, it's all about who it's all about connections, it's all about agents. So, trying to, see what who I can knock on the door with, and hey, let's do it. The big thing is where, it's in Mexico, is it another country, is it here? So because it's all very similar, come December, come January, come February, it's everywhere in the world where like windows open. So just trying to see, man, looking into having a new agent and hopefully go from there, and we'll see what options he lays out, and hopefully stay close to home this time. I like being here. I'm getting kind of comfortable being back in the States, and that'd be nice to play out here, play in my home country.
Oh, that's awesome, right? Because Yeah, you don't know right now, but that motivation is still, within you. And like you talked about, like the dream hasn't finished, like it hasn't ended yet. And like a lot of players right now, this quarantine, I mean, has hit a lot of people on they don't know where they're at. They're up in the air with contracts with the agents and stuff. But I know for sure you'll make it, man. I have a lot of faith that you will. I mean, your skills speak for themselves, man. I've played with you before, so I know exactly what you got. And so after seeing and talking about all the success that we have so far, all the teams that you've played for, I mean, who can you really credit your success to?
Man, big ups to the big man upstairs. First of all, big credit to the big man upstairs. Without him, you got no mentality, no personality, no gift. No skill. Big ups to the big man. Um, but one thing I will say is, uh, second, bro, my parents. My parents were really my backbone. Any mental hit, any physical hit, any injury, uh, you know, I haven't had like a big injury, but in this career, you're gonna have, muscular injuries, minor injuries, and big cred, big, a lot of love from my parents that were always, they always had my back, always wanted to, if the team or the club couldn't provide for anything, my parents always had my back, and that's my biggest support, my parents, and I thank God for them, give them a lot of cred, and they're still with me too, dude. They're always like, they bug me every other week. So where are you going next? What's gonna happen? Still gonna play? What's the move? And so, they're still there. They believe in me as well, and it's one of those things where, like, I want to make them proud and keep going as well.
Yeah, it's definitely a blessing, like you said. I mean, God gives us everything, and that's kind of, the biggest thanks that you can give, but you also have the support of your family, right? Who's been there, day in and day out. I mean, when you're getting transferred to other teams or even when you're away from them, I mean, having that support from your family is like, the best thing to have because you can always have a phone call with them, able to rely on them. They're always going to be there for us, and so not a lot of people do have that, but the people who do, I mean, they cherish it. And as I can see it, I mean, you love your family, man. And I know hopefully you can be able to play here in the States so you can
Yeah,
play in front of them. I mean, that would be a dream come true as well. I mean, you have already, but I mean, quarantine once this ends, that's
yeah, man.
will be. I mean, some advice that you could give to your younger self. I mean, what would it be about the journey you've taken so far?
Oh man, if I could go back to um my first years as a pro, if I could go back to my first years as a pro, it's funny because I've had this question asked before, by other people, even like family members were like, what would you go back and do differently? And if I'm honest, dude, I would go back and I wouldn't change the mentality I had as a 17, 18-year-old. I would keep the mentality that I had when I first went pro was it's all soccer. It's I want to play on TV and I'm gonna grind. I had that, like, a good player would be like, I had that like Ronaldo mentality. I'm gonna train double, come early to practice, leave late. I just everything I ate, I breathed, I slept soccer. And and I will say and I will admit that, like, hitting my 20s, hitting my 21, uh starting making money, starting getting a little name in Mexico, where I was living, I wouldn't say it got to my head, but it definitely did change me in the way that I saw the game. I stopped seeing the game as like as my dream, and I started seeing it as a lifestyle. So, instead of I changed in the fact that, like, when I began, I was hungry, and I think that hunger just became into like a, like a normal thing, and I think if I could go back and give, my younger self a advice is, don't change the way you are. Always be hungry. Always stay hungry. Because once you get comfortable, dude, this career is a man eat man, bro. It's every training is a fight. Every training is your career on the line. Like, from one training to the next, You could lose a starting spot. From one training to the next, you won't even be contemplated in the top 18. You won't even travel with the team. You know, you'll go from being a starter to, hey, run around the field, you know, like, you know, you're not practicing today, you know. So if I could go back, that would be it, man. Is stay hungry, never get comfortable. Like you said when we first started this interview, is you know, there's very few friends in this career. You know, there's very few friends. You know, and always stay hungry. Look to the guy to your left. Look to the guy to your right. Those guys are eating, bro. Those guys are waiting to eat you. So that would be it, man. Is to stay hungry and never lose sight of why you started for. So.
Yeah, I mean, you brought up a really good point on not staying comfortable. Like you said, I mean, the guys to your left and to your right want to take your spot, and it's easy.
Yeah.
And it's easy, you know, to, you know, be at that top and think like, okay, like I'm able to do this. No, like at the end of the day, how are you going to keep on being consistent, you know, at that high level and be able to perform day in and day out? So it can be a no question on who's starting. I mean, it's going to be me and that's it, you know? But I want to thank you, man, on being part of this week's episode on the hashtag Let's Kick It Serious. I know you're going to have great things coming up. Once this quarantine ends, I know I'm going to see you on the TV again. Be able to have one of your jerseys, put them out here right behind me. We'll be able to put yours as well. So I thank you, man. I appreciate you so much.
No, thank you, bro. And I got you, bro. Thank you for, believing in me, and thank you for this. You know, I appreciate it, bro. And yeah, I got you one of these. I got more in the closet. Need to hang more up, but, I got you. I got you, bro.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you.
All right, bro. Good looks, dog. Thank you.
Thank you for everyone who joined us this week on the episode with Fernando Jr. on the hashtag Let's Kick It Serious. Once again, I want to thank him for taking his time on being on here. Check in with us next week. We are going to have another professional athlete, tell us about their story. Once again, thank you, Fernando, and can't wait to see you in the big leagues once again, man.
Hope so. Hoping.